Alright guys, the Minecraft Noob back here with another episode of my Build to Survive series, and as you guys can see here, we have the two plaques for the two subscribers that have left a comment and told me to build, of course, the treehouse, which we have right here. That was Minecraft Gold Chest. He was the first one to tell me I should build a treehouse, and if you guys want to get your name up here like he has, then of course, drop a comment, because as you're going to see in a second, I have already started building what is going to be my next kind of building, I guess, next building. But if you guys want to drop a comment on what I should build next, then you can go ahead and do that. And then there is Dustin Telecki 5. I hope I said that right. I was looking at my comment section. I copied it over, but I don't know if I don't know if I said it right, but sorry if I didn't. But here's your plaque here. He suggested gold armor, so if you guys want to do that, because I still have not decided what I'm going to be wearing or using next episode, or what I'm going to be eating, any of that stuff. So if you guys want to drop a comment about that, you can do that, because in the next episode or two, I'm going to be fighting, of course, the mobs out of this new building I have over here. So if you guys want to leave a comment, you could definitely go ahead and do that. But yeah, as you can kind of tell, maybe, I don't know if you can tell yet, but we have I've sort of put together all the necessities here. I don't know why I just lagged there, but it's going to be a log cabin. So as you can see, it's kind of messy. The lights are everywhere. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but we're gonna go ahead and fix that in just a bit. But I'll take you around each side. I've decided that, and I'll show you the front here. I think I'm gonna turn the wood outwards, so you're gonna be able to see like the top. See how the wood is on the top of in my hand, the top of it, that like this, it's going to be pointing out like this, the entire wall, because I think that would look cool and makes it look more like a log cabin than just this like wood here, because I thought this would look cool, but then when I finally built it, I was like, really, this is just like this dark brown building. It kind of looked ugly, and I was like, nah. And then I was trying to make every single side go up like this, like go up every corner, they point out and go upwards, but it just kind of failed. And I also wanted to fit it with a doorway, and that just kind of failed too. So it looks like a really crappy like H spelled out, I don't know, backwards H, something like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. So I'm probably going to work on that during the episode, or work on laying down this ice, because I want to lay down some ice down here. That's probably a good patch right there. And I'm going to lay down some snow on the outside, because of course I want to add to the sort of realism, or basically try to make it look more like it's a log cabin. I mean, you don't put a log cabin out in the grassy field. You put it out in the woods in the snow. So we'll go ahead and lay that down here. But like I said, I'm going to do that during the episode. But I had a couple things I want to talk about, so yeah, we'll go ahead and start with the first thing I want to talk about, which was the computer. I said I was going to, of course, be getting pretty soon, in the next like 2 weeks possibly, after I saw all this stuff. I mean, I keep prefacing everything, like I don't know if prefacing, like I just basically, I mean, I have to sell this stuff first, so I can't. I'm sort of like jumping the gun on this, but I mean, I've run the numbers multiple times. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get the money, and it depends on how long it's gonna take me to sell the stuff. But I mean, I'm gonna be able to get the money, and even if I have to like skimp on some stuff, like if I have to cut the price a little bit, then I do. But I'm still way in the clear on this, and I'm gonna be getting it. So don't fret on that. But I want to talk about, I've changed the parts a little bit, because the parts I picked before were kind of like basically setting me up for like what I'm going to be building, what I can build next. But the problem with that is that if I go ahead and buy parts like now, I invest too much money into it, to where like when I go ahead and start saving up and then getting newer parts to replace the ones that I originally bought, it's kind of a waste of money. And if you buy like cheaper parts, no one's gonna if you resell them, no one's gonna buy them. No one's gonna be like, oh yeah, I want a Pentium processor second hand. I mean, really, if it's so cheap that it's pointless to buy it second hand. So I've kind of worked it out so that I can go ahead and get really good parts, like the graphics card. I'll tell you, I switched in a second. I'll tell you that, and I switched the graphics card and the processor, and of course that means the motherboard switched as well, and the case. But I'll go ahead and talk about that in just a second. But like I was saying, it's kind of pointless for me to buy something like a Pentium and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, and it would do everything I needed to do and be fine. But I'd be like chomping at the bit here to, like, once I get enough money to just immediately swap it out, grab a new one, and then I mean, there's $60 down the drain, so why would I do that when I can just invest more at the beginning and then go ahead and upgrade later? And I mean, then it won't be as much like if I don't have to upgrade the CPU, that's awesome because then I don't have to go out and spend another like $300. But so so the parts I'm going to be using are of course the AMD FX 4100. That's a quad core. It's different than of course the Pentium like I was talking about because it's quad core. It's faster. It's like 3.8 gigahertz. It's not the newest one. It came out in like back in what is it now 2011 it came out, but it's not one of their newer ones because they have it's like I think they call it bulldozer architecture. I think that's what they nicknamed or they named the CPU. Like Intel has Ivy Bridge and AMD has their newest one or like Vishera. I think I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's like Viscera or something like that. But that's not the newest one. But of course that's why it's cheaper. It's like 105 or 95. It goes on sale and of course, the newer ones are like $20 more, and saving $20 on getting the same quad core just a little bit slower is fine with me. But yeah, it's quad core, which is awesome because that's what I want. I need. I mean, I don't need quad. Well, technically, I do need quad core, but I didn't need it at the time, and I could of course upgrade it to it. But it's a lot better to be able to afford to get one because quad cores are just awesome. They when I render videos, I mean, I'm rendering videos on this laptop here, and this laptop is a dual core. It's got hyper-threading, I believe, because it's I think on all of Intel's mobile processors on their laptops or they have if they're dual cores, they have hyper-threading just so that they can act as 4 virtual cores. So technically, I mean, well not technically, but this is actually a quad core machine since it has 2 virtual cores, but it only helps out when I'm rendering. So I mean, it does pretty decent renders, but the time is still a long time. It's like last night's episode or yesterday morning's episode. What am I saying? That episode took me like a whole probably almost 2 hours to render, which is just ridiculous. I mean, that's an awful amount of time, and it just shouldn't take me that long. It's not my connection or anything. It's just the fact that this thing takes forever to upload and render out. So I was like, you know what? I'd really want a quad core to be able to run that. So that's why I've switched to that. And then of course I also switched the graphics card because I originally heard that a 650 T or 650s were the GTX 650s weren't that good. They were just like average and the HD 7770 would just wipe the floor with it. But that was actually the GTX 650. But the 650 Ti fits right in between the 7770 and the 7850. And I was considering the 7850, but it's like another $10 or $20 more than the GTX 650 Ti. And if I can save the $20, I'll do it. Even though I don't get the 2 games, which I really wish I could get the 2 games, because right now that graphics card, the 7850, comes with a copy of BioShock Infinite when that comes out, which is awesome. I really want to play that game. It looks amazing. And then it also comes with the copy of Lara Croft Tomb Raider that just came out, the new reboot, which looks pretty good. It's got decent reviews. I mean, a lot of people kind of reviewed it bad because they said that it's like it's not the same. It's kind of linear, and the enemies are not as strong as they could be. But that's getting off topic. But the 650 Ti actually is a better deal. I get like a $75 credit right now. Actually, if you buy it within the next I think it's like by the end of this March, you get a $75 credit that goes onto the 3 free-to-play games, Hawken, World of Tanks, and PlanetSide 2. So that's a pretty good deal. Of course, those are free-to-play games, but this whole $75 credit gets you, like, you can buy in-game items. It gets stuff faster than you could before, and you get better stuff that you can start off with better things than you originally could have, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely a bonus. It's not something I'd ever do because, I mean, it's a free-to-play game, so why spend money on it? I still don't get why people do that, but, you know, if they're giving away a free credit on it, I'll take it. I mean, that's awesome, or I can give it to, I mean, one of my friends plays PlanetSide 2 right now, but if he wants it, I mean, I'm going to play PlanetSide 2, but if I could, like, give it to him maybe and get like $20 out of it and go buy a Steam game or something, I'd do that instead. But it's still a good deal, and the card's amazing. It actually just destroys the 7770. It's amazing. Actually, I've looked at the reviews on it and the benchmarks, and it's just crazy how good it is compared to the 7770. And of course, the 7770 couldn't even play Battlefield 3 at like high settings at 30 FPS. They were saying if you want a playable frame rate, you want to play it at like something around the lines of like medium settings. But the 650 Ti actually can run it at pretty decent settings. They can run it at ultra at 30 FPS, and that's just crazy for 150 bucks. But yeah, so I can run pretty good on that, and that's gonna help me. It's not I can't run two of them, which kind of sucks, but it's a good card for the money, and I'd rather get something like that and then like wait for like the 700 series to come out and then be able to get one of those cards later on. And I mean, these cards, the 650 Ti is perfect. Run fine, and it'll definitely be a good placeholder. I mean, I can upgrade it later, and that's not the part that I want to focus on, because of course this whole build, well, I mean, the whole build's focused on it, but what I mean by that is like I don't want to focus on upgrading that. I'd rather get a good one now and then not have to worry about it, which is what I'm doing. So that'll be good, and then of course that'll be a good placeholder, because then I can focus on upgrading the case, because I had to switch the case because the motherboard for the AMD CPU was it was a full size motherboard. The other one was a micro, or not a micro, but a MATX they call it. But basically what that means is that one was a smaller version, so it wasn't gonna be able to fit in the newer one. Wasn't gonna be able to fit in the case, so I was like, yeah, forget that. So had to get a new case, but it's pretty decent. It's like an NZXT, like 210, 220, something like that. It has like two front USB 2.0 ports, even though I wanted 3.0 on the front. I mean, you couldn't expect that in something like, oh, why did I do that? You can't expect something like that in a cheaper case, but it's gonna be something I can upgrade pretty soon. But it's gonna fit everything. It's gonna house all I throw into it, and it's gonna be pretty cool too. It's kind of like one fan, but it's got up to 7 fan slots, so I could max that out later if I needed to, and if it was too warm in there, I could fix that. But yeah, so that's the parts. I didn't want to ramble on like I did, but hopefully you guys are interested in it. I don't know, but of course I am, and that's why I keep talking about it. But that's probably the last time I talk about it for a while, until I go ahead and start selling stuff, because I'm going to be working on that here pretty soon. I'm in, actually right now while I'm doing this commentary, I'm in a Skype call with Xidle and Rhino, the Rhino Plays or Rhino Craft. I have to look at he's in my channel. If you see if you go to my channel page, he's in my box down there with Nylon and Xidle. But I'm in a Skype chat with them right now. I'm gonna go play on their server. They've been playing this one server for a long time, but I haven't joined them yet, so I'm gonna go do that. But hopefully, you guys, does this look okay? I don't know. I'm trying to like decide whether this looks okay or not. It's so frustrating, because like I said in a couple episodes back, I kind of have like OCD when it comes to this game. Like I want it to look good. I don't want to put out a product that looks bad, but I don't know how well that reflects in this whole cabin feeling here. But of course they don't have any like logs that you can use, which I wish they would add that. I mean, that's something that's kind of a necessity now. Like that would be something that would fit perfectly in this realm of items. I don't know why they haven't added in logs. I mean, that's people have wanted to do this kind of thing all the time. Like all the time, people want to do cabins and stuff in the forest, and it'd be cool if they could make logs instead of just like, what do they call this, wood, like just regular wood. I'd rather have logs, but that's just me nitpicking. But I guess that looks cool. It's definitely different. I mean, I guess it looks fine. I just don't like how it's not uniform. Like it looks like the butt end of. I mean, let's try this. Let's see how this looks. I mean, I could do one that doesn't look that bad. I mean, well, why am I doing that? But like switching over to this one, it doesn't look that bad if I were to switch off like that and change it. I don't know. I mean, I got to make a decision here pretty soon, but I guess that looks fine. If you guys want to drop a comment and tell me what you think about it, I guess that looks fine with. If I were to switch off, I think I might do that. I might just do like a checkerboard type look, or I could just keep this uniform. I mean, tell me down below what you guys think. I mean, I haven't it perplexes me. I don't I don't know how to say it any other way. It just annoys me. I don't know how I would fix this, but if you guys have any suggestions, drop it down below. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the episode here. It's pretty well done right now. I'm gonna furnish it, of course. I'll probably work on getting some like making like corner pieces out of like wood stairs. I'm gonna make probably like a bed and a couch and maybe make a second floor because like I said, this is ground level, so compared to those last two that were on up high, this is a lot better. So I can go ahead and make two levels if I felt like it, and then I actually might do that because I've always said I wanted to do like a treehouse of horrors or something like that where I can, or just basically a house of horrors that I can end up like going to second level, fighting off stuff, coming down here, fighting off stuff that's coming in from the outside. So I think that'll be cool, and we'll go ahead and do that next episode. But yeah, guys, leave a comment. Of course, I need to know what I'm going to be wearing and what I should do about this, because I still don't know what I'm going to be doing about this. But yeah, I'll go ahead and keep you guys updated on my whole selling of all this stuff and how close I am to the money for the computer. Like I said, I'm going to be working towards that really hard, and I really want to get that and get you guys some good content. But yeah, guys, thanks for all your support, and definitely drop a like if you liked the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe. But thanks again, guys, and I'm out.